And your thoughts on Luke Schenn? Because Elliot Friedman was talking about 32 Thoughts, and he was going over a lot of the Chychrun conversation, but also just like a guy like Luke Schenn. He poured cold water on the Tyler Myers connection to the Leafs because maybe that was a conversation at the start of the year, but I always said like it'd have to be a contract going back the other way, like Canucks retaining 50%. But Luke Schenn, man, he talked about, I mean, it seems like Tampa, I don't know, they might be going again for more of a sexy piece, but like Luke Schenn's been tied to Tampa. There was a little bit of cold water on that, but Calgary's name or team name now, Boston, Toronto, maybe. Like, what are your thoughts on Luke Schenn, man?
Well, let's start with Tyler Myers first. I think the fact that the Leafs are, not in the Tyler Myers sweepstakes brought a smile to my face, I think. Right? That's a W. No disrespect to Tyler Myers, just that contract and the way he's played. I don't really
on paper, if you're just staring at NHL.com, Lucas, and seeing the size,
height, weight, check. But Johnny, man, for anyone who knows me outside of the pod, you know that Luke Schenn's my guy. Okay, I rode with this guy from the 08 draft. This was my guy, man. Okay, I was so happy to see him make the team in his rookie year. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But Elliot Friedman, he said that Calgary's circling in on him and Boston. Those are sort of the two front runners. But Toronto has checked in on Schenn. Okay, and I know it's probably a long shot. But if Luke Schenn comes home, buddy, oh my God, I'm bringing out my 08 Maple Leafs jersey with Schenn on the back with the no lines, that crappy design they had. I'm wearing that to a playoff game if Luke Schenn's playing for them, man. Okay, like it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna let my hopes get too high here. But if it does, and the reason Friedman was talking about it, John, is because, and for the listeners out there, is because Dubas is in on everything right now when it comes to forward, defense, bottom six, top six, everything, right? And so depending on what piece he gets up front, that's obviously going to affect, what he could add on the blue line in terms of the cap coming in and out, right? So if he gets the big piece up front, maybe it's just a smaller depth piece on D. Maybe that's the Luke Schenn, right? If he's still around. The one thing that's causing me, reason to believe this isn't going to happen, especially for Toronto, is that Luke Schenn, obviously his wife is expecting. And so the Canucks are trying to respect that and deal. She's expecting right around the deadline.
Yeah.
So they're trying to deal him well before that to give him that time to settle in the new spot. But we'll stay close on this one, man. And if he comes to Toronto, buddy, I can't wait to wear that jersey again.
Yeah, and man, I've always said, again, watching Hall Saturday night, it's recency bias here, but that was just an absolute disaster. And I was just having Schenn in Hall's place as the shutdown, penalty kill, and actually a physical guy. Like Luke Schenn does everything that Hall does and can actually lay a big hit.
Yeah.
Like everything he does. Block shots on the penalty kill.
Yep.
Physical, has that right shot presence, size, like everything that Hall does, and just in my eyes, way better. Much more controlled, much more physical, much more of that presence. And I'm just looking at the potential. It's like, yeah, what were you going to say?
Much more like low risk.
Yeah, right? Low risk. Like you don't see Luke Schenn with these horrendous giveaways that Hall does. And I just feel like, sure, Schenn gets himself maybe along the board stuck, but I just feel like Schenn's strength, like 1v1, I'm taking Schenn in a 50-50 puck battle, like 100%.
Absolutely, man. Sorry, John, I just want to say this one other thing too. We talked about this with Carlson when Mark Spector was on, in terms of he's exceeded expectations. He's made that contract all of a sudden worth it. And we're talking about him being dealt possibly. Luke Schenn, I think, deserves all the credit in the world because this guy was left for dead. AHL player, the career was fizzling out, and now he's got suitors, man. He's got teams that are actually like calling up, giving up assets for him. It's unbelievable. Shout out to you. You said that he went through waivers. Like it's unbelievable how this guy's rebounded. Yeah. If he ends up staying in Vancouver in the long shot that happens, I highly doubt that. But if he ends up staying there and he gets a deal with some term on it, I would love that for him too, just to be stationed in a spot that he loves. But keep a close eye on this one with Luke Schenn.
Yeah, Lucas, I hate putting this on you because I know this could be a disaster for all of us, but more so for you being a Schenn guy. It's like Boston's been tied to this guy now for many weeks, and I just look at the potential fit, and I know Boston's trying to go for it. It's like, Schenn would fit what the Bruins love, that style, and Grzelcyk, McAvoy, Hampus Lindholm, Carlo, Forbort, Luke Schenn.
Bro, the Bruins fans would love Luke Schenn, though, eh?
Yeah.
The Bruins fan, imagine him dropping the gloves at TD Garden in the play. Bro, this guy, he'd be a fan favorite there. And he'd be a bottom pair D, he'd be a fan favorite. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's why I wonder if Boston or, I mean, Calgary, I just don't get the Calgary fit.